men's clones for work. So you're looking for fragrances that are really good for the workplace, you know, that have a certain power and confidence about them without being too crazy. So I have a small list that does just that. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with a pretty popular one, but it does get the job done, which is Dylan Blue from Versace. This is nice because it's fresh and crisp. It has a certain power to it, but it doesn't go overboard. It's not too crazy. It's not beast mode or clubbing style, you know. This has a certain aquatic nature to it, has some citrus notes, a little bit metallic, a little bit of pepper thrown in there. And overall, it just has a nice smell. This is a very, very popular men's fragrance. Maybe a little bit oversaturated, but if you're looking for a nice, general, go-to option that also isn't that expensive, because I believe it's maybe around $50 to $60, Dylan Blue is a really good choice, because pretty much all the reviews that I see, people really love Dylan Blue. It's hard to go wrong with it. It's just kind of designed to be super likable. And again, it's strong without being too strong or too crazy. It's actually very nicely balanced. So again, the chances that you'll come across someone who will just absolutely hate Dylan Blue, very, very rare chance of that happening. And it's not going to fumigate the entire office or, you know, the workplace in general. So again, kind of a nice all-around, overall good option for budget, for how it smells, you know, that's all that. Now, for it might be a little bit overkill, but if you want something more luxurious but still nice and natural, nice and smooth, then I would say Creed Vetiver. This is a pretty expensive option. I would not reserve this just for the workplace, but more as an all-the-time type of fragrance. This is a really nice, fresh yet warm type of fragrance. It's super, you know, very kind of natural. It has that vetiver note, which is kind of warm, a little bit grassy, a little bit breezy. Has some citrus notes, so it's also kind of clean. And then it has some woodsy notes like sandalwood, and then also a little bit of musk thrown in there. But overall, it's a very smooth, kind of a subtle type of fragrance. Definitely a very, it does the job well. You know, it sticks around for quite a while, about 7 hours. Definitely for those who want a more natural smell from their fragrance. But again, this is a pretty luxurious, very expensive type of fragrance. So definitely you could wear this just beyond the workplace as well. Now, if you want something that's just really fresh and clean smelling, then I would say Xerjoff 40 Knots. This always reminds me of summer because it just has that summer smell to it. It mainly the fact that it has those aquatic notes, has some sea salt notes, a little bit of citrus. It's just a super fresh type of fragrance, and it actually has pretty good longevity, which you wouldn't expect from this type of lighter fragrance. It lasts about 5 to 6 hours, which isn't a super long time, but for this type of fragrance, it's actually longer than average. Now, again, this is more of a summertime-ish fragrance, but I will say it's versatile enough to be worn for most of the year, except maybe in the middle of winter when it's, you know, too cold to wear this type of fresh fragrance. But, you know, just for the workplace in general, really, really nice. It smells very clean, confident, fresh, and kind of breezy. Also has that little bit of clean laundry type of vibe to it as well. But most of all, those aquatic notes and those citrus notes come through the strongest. So definitely a good option for those who want something more fresh and oceanic. Now, if you want something fresh but not oceanic, then I would say Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée. This is a really good option for something crisp, because this is more of an icy cold fragrance rather than, you know, oceanic or sea salts, that sort of thing.
even the name eau givrée means kind of ice water or frozen water, so you know, you're gonna get something very cold and very fresh here. It has notes of juniper berries, which are really, really nice. Kind of a green type of note mixed with a very sharp kind of pine needle-esque type of smell to it. So a pretty natural smell that it has, but also it has that sharpness, like really cold, rushing water, like from a stream or something, you know. Definitely really good if you want to smell super clean, because that's, you know, what this is all about. Clean, but also still holding on to some of those more natural notes, kind of like a little bit woodsy, a little bit with those green notes and things like that. So now longevity here, it's not super, mainly because it's a lighter fragrance, about 4 to 5 hours, so a little bit suffering on the longevity there, but the smell alone is very, very pleasant. You can't really get too much cleaner smelling than this without starting to smell synthetic. So again, very good option for a natural, clean, and crisp type of option. Now, for a budget option, for those who just want to smell good and that's it, don't want to spend too much money, then I will bring up Aqua di Gio. This is a nice, this was very popular in the 90s. I think most people probably know that at this point. A little bit less popular than it used to be, but for a budget option and for something that's nice and fresh, this is pretty good. It's pretty similar, actually, kind of to Dylan Blue. Dylan Blue has more strength to it, but this is an aromatic, herbal, citrusy, and woodsy type of fragrance. It actually smells very nice, very natural. The main downside is that the longevity is really not that great. Longevity is probably 3 to 4 hours, so you will have to reapply it throughout the day because it will fade pretty quickly. Even though, you know, it is very versatile and very, you can pretty much wear this anytime, anywhere, but you will have to reapply it because it will fade pretty quickly. But the bonus is that it's very affordable. It's usually around $40-ish, maybe $50 if you get the big bottle. But yeah, so budget option here for those who want something nice and fresh and not too expensive. So that is pretty much my list here for fragrances for men that are good for the workplace, the office, or wherever you work. These are all, I think most of them actually, almost all of them, are under $100, except for that Creed one, I believe. But yeah, all of these are really high quality, very versatile, you know, have good projection without being too crazy and all that. But that is pretty much my video here. If you enjoyed it, of course, you can leave a like, maybe subscribe. And I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.